Don't waller in it. Yes, it happened. It's terrible, awful. It should never happen. But there's never thing we can do about it. Talk about it. So let's look at heaven. Let's look at Jesus. And how can we go from where we are right now, progressively that direction. There's a saying that we have in healthcare. It's called MAPI. Well, it's API. But North Carolina, we added an M to it. Mission. But it's API. Assess, plan, implement, evaluate. Assess the situation. Where am I right now? Okay? I'm having financial problems. I'm having spiritual problems. I'm having family problems. I'm having scholastic problems. I'm having work problems. Assess it. What's the issues? Okay? What do we need to do to fix it? Make a plan. Then you implement the plan, and then you evaluate. Is it working or not? If it's not, let's go back and assess it again and see. Sometimes we make a plan, and that just didn't work. So let's figure out something else. Don't keep watering it. Let's keep going. We're looking to heaven. That's very soon. Looking at Jesus, and let's keep progressing forward. Very important. Continuous quality improvement. Yes? That's true, you can't. I mean, again, let's go back to the tractor. Why do y'all say it? Why is there a sign here in town that talks about, it says harvester? Is that International Harvester?
No, it's a builder.
It's a place where they sing music.
Yep.
Oh, okay. It doesn't have anything to do with International Harvester? Maybe a little? Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's like driving a tractor. You can't drive a tractor looking backwards. You got to look forward. You know, and whether you're looking at that tree, your initial furrow, and you're cutting your way through there, and then from there, you're still looking forward to see where you cut that last fur as you're guiding your wheel on where you're going. You can't look back. If you look back, you're going to be all over that field. And you can't look back. All right. Well, let's get started. Let's start with prayer. Yeah. All right. Let's my dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you so much for your love, your care, and for such a good dinner we just had, and the desserts. Lord, we thank you that you care about us, and you've given us simple remedies. Give us wisdom, give us discernment on what we can do for ourselves. We can't help others if we are not healthy ourselves. And then to be able to help those around us. Help us to know these simple laws of health, that we can help our family, friends, our co-workers, our neighbors, and those around us. And we can use it as an entering wedge that we can share the gospel with them. We ask this in Jesus' name. Well, we've had a tough morning this morning. We've had 5 swiftwater rescues. Some of the areas in the county are hit harder this morning than Helene in our county. Helene in our county very hard. And so our swiftwater team has been out, has done 5 already rescues. We've got another storm coming in at 7 this evening. Again, hitting us hard. We had, we had places that got significant water inside the building. Pardon? Where? In Newport, Tennessee, in our county. Yes. We have a swiftwater rescue team that we do rescues. Okay. So this is QR code. You can go in there and you can take and use your camera. And that will give you our phone number, our address, our website, our Facebook. We do a lot of training on Facebook. We'll put out things on there. It also gives you our YouTube. Or if you want to just go to YouTube, just go to Google and put Walt Cross. And that then will take you to our YouTube. It's not a lot of different videos that you can get and keep learning more information. Or you can put Walt Cross on YouTube or just go to that and get it. All right. Hold on one second. The slide I'm about to show you, this is not a sign that is different for y'all. This is just Appalachian, which y'all are Appalachian. But as we go back and we look at the old mountain remedies, and I'd like to just share some just simple basic information this morning. We talked about this morning, Corinthians 10. No, we didn't. Yes, we did. Whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all for the glory of God. No, we didn't talk about that this morning. God loves us so much. It's kind of like that fourth commandment. He said there's a specific day. Well, here he said, he could have been totally conclusive and said, whatever you do all to glory God. But he loved us so much, he said it's real important that you look at nutrition, what you eat and what you drink. This is important. Our body is the temple. And if we don't, and it's not our own, we're a caretaker. God is God's body, Christ's body. Here it says if we don't take care of it, it'll be destroyed. It's just physiology. We also talked about this at dinner today. These basic laws of health are foundations. And so what I'm about to talk about this afternoon, you can't throw these guys out of the door. Can anybody tell me where we got this information? Pardon? What time in history? When? Pardon? No? I'll tell you. It was a Friday afternoon. General R.E. Lee was going from Fredericksburg to Culpeper. When y'all are here in Virginia, you know where Fredericksburg is, and you know where Culpeper is. And Lee was taking the Northern Virginia Army from Fredericksburg to Culpeper. Lincoln tried to cut him off. He sent Hooker down to try to diagonally cut him off and missed him. So Lee made it to Culpeper that evening. He then marched on to the Shenandoah Valley, went north into Pennsylvania, and what did we have the 1st of July? It was June 5, 1863. What happened in July 1863? Gettysburg, that's right. See, if Hooker had cut him off, there would not have been a Gettysburg. Well, that same day, now is that a long time ago?
Not so long.
Pardon, 100 and how many years? A long time. Well, that same day, Elder White, Mrs. White, and 2 other wagons, buggies. They loaded up in Battle Creek and then went northeast to a little town called Otsego, Michigan. There was an evangelistic series they were doing back then. Every conference was doing that summer of '63. We're doing an evangelistic series. Mrs. White told them to have the evangelistic series as long as people would come. Not just 14 days, not just 30 days. As long as the people kept coming, keep preaching. Because she said that many times we take the tents and the poles down, and when the people are starting to get interested. So they went up. They've been doing it for a week. So the Whites and 2 other families left Battle Creek to go up and support these 2 pastors up in Otsego, which was the Michigan Conference camp meeting. And they got there before sundown. That evening, they went in there. They got to the house they were staying at, the Hilliards, and I believe the name was. And he asked Mrs. White to have the sundown prayer. So she walks over to her husband. Elder White puts her hand on his shoulder and starts praying. And she prays for his health because he was having health issues. And she goes into vision. And this is where we learn this that night. What's very interesting is she dates it June 6th. Now it's Friday, June 5th. I went back when I read that. She said it was Friday. It had been Friday that she drove up there that evening, so they had prayer. But she dates it as June 6th vision. Did she mess up? Well, I go back and I look at the calendar, and Friday was on the 5th. Yes, Lincoln did send Hooker down to cut off Lee on the 5th. What happened? I can only think one thing. So I called the White Estate, and I said, what's going on here? I can only think one thing. And they said, yes, our pioneers in our church, any day of the week, at sundown, the date changed. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Okay, so we cannot forget these basic laws of health. Again, I mentioned that I've added a 9th one, and that is what?
Merry heart.
A merry heart. Proverbs 17:22. Be happy. Be positive. That's important. That can definitely affect your health. A negative person is going to not only themselves be sick, but they'll make people around them sick. Appalachia. Did anybody ever know women like this? Yeah. This is how my great grandmother looked. Yeah. And they knew the herbs. Go back a little further. the Native Americans. But then did they use herbs in the Bible?
Yes.
Yeah, they did. Did they use clay? Our Colombians here, have they left? Do they use, yeah. Do you use clay in Colombia?
Yes.
Absolutely. Venezuela, Colombia? Yeah, absolutely. China, they use clay. And then, what did Job sit down in? Ashes. Ashes with a little water is what? Yes. So let's take a look. If images bother you, you may want to guard yourself on this. This is what we're going to talk about, wounds. This is a foot that a doctor called me from the Caribbean and said, we're about to amputate this foot. Can you help me? Diabetic, neuropathy, and osteomyelitis. Is osteomyelitis a bad thing? Infection of the bone. And they're about to amputate the foot. This is 2 weeks later. This is 4 weeks later. We're ready for a skin graft. Never did we have these outcomes when I worked in regular health. Never. And I did a lot of wound care. Carrington never did it. Oxygen therapy never did it. Wound vacs never did this right here. And so what did we do? What did you think the first thing we did?
Right.
Pray. That's exactly right. Because it is not what we did that healed it. It is God that healed it. That's the thing. If we think it's otherwise, you'll fall and you'll bust your nose. So there's 2 major keys in wound care. And you've got to get these basic keys. Am I okay? Am I stepping out of view?
I'm sorry?
Am I stepping out of
No, you're fine.
Oh, you're
You're
good.
good.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. I'll wander.
Yes, we do.
There's 2 keys to wound care. Number 1 is nutrition. You've got to have excellent nutrition. Number 2 is perfusion, blood flow. You've got to have good blood flow. Whether here we're not dealing with something like a bed sore where you're having capillary pressure pressed on, but a red sore like a cube, where you're on the coccyx, on the tailbone, on the shoulders, the elbows, the heels, where you're having that constant pressure, where you're not turning that patient, you're going to have skin breakdown, and that's where you have a capillary cut off. And here, we've just got an issue where that patient's diabetic, and we just have some significant issues. So first is we juiced him. Juicing is the best nutrition that I have found for wound care. The best thing I have found for autoimmune diseases. It's the best thing I have found for cancer. It's going to be in the blood within 15 to 20 minutes. You're not going to waste a lot of digestive energy. When you digest food, it takes 2.5 hours to 5 hours to digest it. If you have raw meat, it's going to take longer. If you have chocolate, it's going to take up to 14 hours to digest. Juicing is going to be in the blood within 15 to 20 minutes. And so we juice it for 30 days. Just juice. Nothing else. Just vegetable juice. 16 ounces each meal. It could be greens, so like kale, spinach, collards, parsley. Could be carrots, celery, cucumbers, a little apple maybe, or a little, and then it could be beets, could be greens, it could be cabbage, it could be, has anyone ever juiced cauliflower? I'm speaking in Atlanta, Georgia, and I say, now cauliflower is maybe not one you want to juice. And this guy, about where you are, he stands up and he goes, you can juice cauliflower. I said, have you ever juiced cauliflower? He goes, yes. Well, I could tell from his tongue he was from the Caribbean. And I said, tell me, how did you juice cauliflower? He said, you juice the leaves. Makes sense. Juice the cauliflower leaves. For him, we did a pint 3 times a day. Just that.
Water.
And water, yes. And that was his nutrition. Also, because he has osteomyelitis, we gave him Allicin. We gave him Allimed. And we did 1 teaspoon twice a day of Allimed. Allimed is antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, antiparasitic, and antimicrobial. Allimed, A-L-L-I-M-E-D. It takes 24 cloves of garlic to make allicin. And Alimed is the most secure, and stable allicin there is in the world.
How do you spell that again?
Allimed. And that's what we used on the fellow we talked about this morning with that had that infection back in 2005. Very, very powerful. And so we gave him that both by mouth, to get it into the system systemically, because we need to fight that bone infection. And then we did hydrotherapy. Now you cannot do hot and cold. You cannot do hot and cold. That foot cannot tolerate hot and cold. So we did warm and cool. Do 100 degrees and 70 degrees and you'll be fine. So we did 100 degrees 3 minutes, 70 degrees 1 minute, 7 times. Vasodilation, vasoconstriction, vasodilation, vasoconstriction, vascular flow. Increase that perfusion of that blood. It's like an inline pump. And we did it 7 times. Then we took Alimed and we sprayed all in there. Sprayed it really good. And then we put a salve. And the salve, see if this sounds familiar. Frankincense, myrrh, golden seal. And then for heat, we used the propolis because we did not have pine sap. I usually use pine sap. Pine sap is phenomenal for healing tissue. The tissue heals very fast, and also pine sap will not allow pathogen growth.
Why did you not use it?
Pardon?
Why did you not use it?
Oh, we didn't have any pine sap. It was down in the Caribbean where it was. They didn't have any pine sap. So we used beef propolis. And we also used aloe vera. And now you wanted the consistency of about pancake batter because you want it to slough off in 12 hours because you're going to do the treatment again in 12 hours. So you kind of just paint it on. You don't pack it like we used to with beta-9 and brown sugar. You just paint it off on there. And then in 12 hours, you're going to do it again and you want it to slough off. And then we put a charcoal poultice on there. And we did that twice a day. And now we're ready for it. You see how that healed up? Look at how it's healed up. Very, very well in this first test. See how open that heel is? Now we're coming back up. You see how you have that closure? You did very well. Got good vascular flow there. Got a drip of blood. And then, so this is what we do. Clean the wound, warm and cool. And then 7 times, twice a day. Golden seal, myrrh, frankincense, aloe vera. You can do pine sap, pine oil, beef propolis. You can use honey.
Can you go back?
Sure. There you go. Yeah, and then we can put the charcoal poultice on after. Right? It does not, no.
If you put the salve on, you put the poultice on right over.
Well, normally we do not. Normally we'll put a barrier. Say a piece of wet paper towel or something, because it can tattoo. They didn't care if it tattooed the bottom of his foot. And so they chose not to do it.
How can you use the kind of salt if it's still sticky?
Yes, so here's how you do it. You take, I'll do 1 part frankincense, 1 part myrrh, 1 part, so I'll do a teaspoon of frankincense, a teaspoon of myrrh, a teaspoon of golden seal, all powdered. Then I mix it really good. Mix it really good. Then I'll put a half to 1 part of the pine sap, depending on how much pine sap you have available. You can just go out and bark your pine tree if you want to. And then I don't stir it right now because if you stir it, it's going to get all sticky and messy. So I put in the aloe vera. Now you can stir it and it's not as sticky. The aloe vera helps. I've tried it the other way. It don't work good. Honey, Manuka is found to be the best honey, but use local honey if you don't have Manuka. It's okay. Honey's good. Poultice, charcoal or cabbage poultice. Charcoal, we'll talk about the poultice in a minute. There is another key to, and I failed to mention this. There's 3 keys to wound care. Number 1, prayer. Okay, prayer. Okay. Number 2, nutrition. Number 3,
Circulation.
perfusion. Number 4, no tobacco. Tobacco is a vasodilator. When you get into small capillaries, It's like the size of a hair. You're looking at cells going through almost like one at a time. And now you squeeze it down, you really reduce perfusion. I had a guy come to me, and he had a very simple wound. A wound that might have been only as big around as that little ring, the tip of that ring finger. Very simple. Been to the VA in Johnson City for 2 months. Could not heal it up. He came down. We tried for 2 weeks. It wouldn't heal. So I called my buddy, Dr. Watkins. Some of y'all remember Dr. Watkins. And Watkins he's a surgeon. And I called him. We worked together for a long time. And I called Watkins. I said, "It's not healing." He said, He said, "What are you doing?" And you can hear him say, "What are you doing?" And I told him. He said, "Yeah, that's what I do." And he says, "He ain't using the back, is he?" I go, "Oh no." He goes, "It ain't gonna work." I said, "I know, you're right. I missed it. My fault." He goes, "I can't use the back." I said, "Okay, thanks, Doc. I'm done." And I went out and told the man, I said, "Sir, I messed up. You're smoking. It will not heal. You got to stop smoking." So I explained the physiology. He said, "I don't care. I ain't quitting smoking." And I said, "Sir, I can't help you. Obviously, it's not working. What I have to offer you, the VA didn't work. You have to stop smoking. If you have vasoconstriction, you're not going to have adequate perfusion." And so when you do wound care, they've got to stop using tobacco. And then, get into nutrition. Pine sap is a great little tool. Bob Jorgensen, we talked about a little earlier. Bob, he taught me pine sap many, many years ago. For wounds, gum disease, mouth sores, immune system cut. I had 8 grandkids, 6 of those, the other 2 were just born. 6 of my grandkids grew up cutting teeth using pine sap. That is what we used. It is excellent for cutting teeth. Pain, headaches. What is this? Anybody recognize that? Looks like a bone, doesn't it? Looks like osteoporosis. It's activated charcoal. That is why charcoal has so much surface area. See all the surface area? Charcoal does not absorb, charcoal adsorbs. If I take a sponge and I put flour on this table and I go across the table, it's going to what? Adsorb. It sticks to the outside. It doesn't absorb it. If I put water on here and go across with a sponge, it's going to absorb. 2 different ways. Charcoal does not absorb, it adsorbs. It sticks to all that surface area. A teaspoon of charcoal has the same surface area as a tennis court. 1 teaspoon of charcoal. It's phenomenal. It is nothing better for food poisoning than charcoal. Usually food poisoning is gone within just 30 minutes. That's how fast it works.
They still use it in the ED.
Pardon?
They still use it in the ED emergency.
Yes, they do. But they will not allow us to use it in the field anymore. They say it's too dangerous. You're going crazy. Used to, we had to call in and get the doctor's order to use it in the field. Now we can't even have it on the fire truck, the ambulance. They say it's too dangerous to use in the field. They don't know about this. The reason for it is the stuff they use in the ED. It's this junk that it's got other stuff, and they're afraid the patient's going to aspirate. What they use there, they're not. But what we use, what you and I, what we use, they're not going to aspirate. It's perfectly safe. That's crazy. It's good for indigestion, acid reflux, IBS, detox, foot bath. But remember, do not use it within 2 hours either side of a pharmaceutical. I have girls come in and buy it. If they're in childbearing age, I will say, if you're on birth control and you take it within 2 hours, it ain't going to work tonight. Boy, I get their attention, especially their husband's attention. Right? I had a nurse one time call me, some of y'all know her, and she called me one time and said, "Walt, I read the NAR wrong. I gave a patient way too much morphine. Fortunately, it was PO. I'm out." And it was way too much morphine. She said, "What do I do?" I said, "Charcoal protocol." It was like we didn't even give the morphine. Totally something, right? You hold tight. Good job.
And these days,
We're glad you're here.
Walter,
What? runs to his truck to get his med bag, because at that time it was a better med bag, or it still is a better med bag than we had on the fire truck. And then I get a phone call, I look at it, it's dispatch. And I answered it, and she says, Walt, where are you? I said, I'm at station 2. I was hoping you're there. It's so-and-so. I knew the guy. And he's very, very allergic to these things. And she says he's not doing good at all. So instead of taking the fire truck, we jumped in Walt's pickup. We took off. Pickup's a whole lot faster than the fire truck. And we get there, and he was as white as your sweater. His BP was 70 over like 42. Pulse was 118. And he was either total out or he was up fighting. Total out, total fighting. So I mentioned to his wife, I wish I had some activated charcoal. And she said, because we weren't allowed to have it. And she says, oh, I've got some. I bought some from you 2 years ago. And so she sends her brother to get it. He runs to the garage, comes back with charcoal briquettes for the grill. And she goes, no, wrong stuff. He runs back. She tells him where it is. He comes back. I just poured my hand, poured some water, mix it up, put it on his hand. It was them white-faced hornets. Even worse than me. I put it here. I put it here. Literally within 2 minutes, heating color was back to normal. His BP was now upper 90s over low 70s, and pulse was back to normal, and his level of consciousness was back to normal. In 2 minutes. Yes?
Is that the same, does that work as for vaccines also, being that it's muscular?
No, I'll come back to that. Thank you for asking that. Yes, good question. And so we stabilized. Finally, an ambulance got there. They'd been at level 0. They got there. I told the guys on the truck what I had done. And I did not understand at the time until just the other day. I was told why they did it. About halfway to the hospital, they wiped all the charcoal off. And the guy told me within 1 minute his lips went numb and he passed out. Just this week actually. This week, one of the folks told me who does EMS said if the paramedic had gone into the ED and the doctor had seen it, he could have lost his license because he was using something out of standard practice. Crazy. To answer your question in the back, what about vaccines? So in 2008, Dr. Atkins and I went to New York and we did some classes for folks in New York City. New York City, the city of New York, made a new law that healthcare workers had to have certain vaccines to stay working in healthcare. And so the physicians, the nurses, the therapists were saying, can we use activated charcoal? Can we do a poultice? Can we whatever? And Dr. Atkins said it will not work. Once it's in you, it is in you. You have 3 choices. You can get the vaccine and continue working. You can go somewhere else that doesn't require, as a law, that you get your vaccine, or you can leave healthcare. But she says once you put a vaccine in the body, there's nothing you can get it out of. It's done. Even the drinking charcoal poultice, it would not pull it out. Yes? Does charcoals take out the vitamins and minerals in the body? And I asked Dr. Agatha that, and she said no. You might, some of the more, even the alley meds, you don't want to take it within 2 hours of the charcoal. And some of you like your oil oregano and some of the items you don't want to take within 2 hours because it's more processed in the extract or the essential oil process. But like aluminum is like an extract. But regular just food, no. Or vitamins and minerals, no. She said it did not. Charcoal poultice, you can make them different ways. We were using flaxseed for many years, and then we hired a guy out of Switzerland who came to Hartman. He was a therapist, and he taught me to use psyllium seed powder. And so what you do is 1 part charcoal, 1 part psyllium powder, mix it thoroughly. That's a key. Mix it thoroughly. You've got black and you have tan. Mix it till it's gray. You see no tan, you see no black. And then you add the water, somewhere around 5.5 parts, 5.5, because it varies between 5 and 6. And so you can get a psyllium that you need a 5. You can get a psyllium you need a 6. The 5.5 is in the middle. If it's a 6 and you do a 5, it's too thick. If you do a 6 and you need a 5, it's too wet. So the 5.5 does really well until you figure out that psyllium. But your next batch of psyllium could be different again, so you have to keep checking. Mix well, add water, roll out between plastic wrap, quarter of an inch, so you could take a piece of plastic wrap, saran wrap, put that blob on, you mix it. At first you don't think it's blown crazy. There's too much water. And then it goes into a black ball. Put it on there, put another piece of saran wrap on top, smash it down and roll it out to about 1/4 of an inch thick. You can go a little thinner, you know. And then you it's kind of like making biscuits. You can make one biscuit at a time. No. Do you make one cookie at a time? No. You make out a big thing and you cut out what you need. Here, I like making, I'll use like a half a cup, and then 5.5 parts of water. Now, here's something very important to remember. You have to do a level cup, you have to do a level measurement of the charcoal and a level measure of the psyllium. Why? You cannot heat water. Y'all cooks, can you heat water? No. So that's why you have to do a level, because you want that proportion right. And so you cannot heap up water, so you have to do a level because water is level.
So when you say this 5.5, you're saying like if you have a tablespoon of charcoal and a tablespoon of cinnamon, you're going to have 5.5 tablespoons of water.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. Or whatever proportion you're doing.
Right.
And so I make my poultices about this big, and then you can pull back that saran wrap, and you can cut out whatever amount you need of whatever area you're going to put it on. And you put it on the affected area. If it's an open wound, put a wet paper towel. Now in Venezuela, do they have paper towels in Venezuela? We didn't have paper towels in Venezuela. Yes, okay. I mean, when we were in Venezuela, you only could use two squares of toilet paper, no matter what you had to do. 2 squares per time, no bullshit. This is Southern humor. So I went to Pastor Restrepo. I said, Pastor Restrepo, I found the answer to your toilet paper problem. Oh, he was excited. Because that was a kind of a staff morale thing. They wanted more than 2 squares of toilet paper. And he says, what? I said, see that big pile of corn cobs over there? That's Southern. He didn't find the humor in it. I did. He didn't understand. So in Venezuela, we didn't have paper towels. We used a white sheet. And then used it over and over and over again. You washed it well and used it again on the next poultice. Yes, ma'am.
And when I was a nurse at the camp at Harvard,
Yes?
had snake bite,
Yes?
and I had it in the freezer,
Mm.
and it really worked well.
It does. Ashley, my daughter, this is before we moved to Heartland, and I wasn't even into this yet. She came to me one Sunday afternoon. She had this really necrotic looking wound on her calf. Very red, very hot, very hard. So I took her next door to my neighbor who is a retired doc, and I said, Doc, take a look at this, and what do you think? And he says to his wife, Virginia, give me a charcoal poultice. Pulled it out of his freezer. I said, what is it? He would not tell me, because he knew if I knew what it was, I would take her to the ED. And so I said, don't worry about it, just trust me. And so put it on there and says, come back tomorrow. So I take 2 aspirin and go back tomorrow. And he says, come back tomorrow. So we went back the next evening, and we took it off. It was no longer red, it was no longer hard, it was no longer hot, and it looked very good. And I said, okay, Doc, what? He's on some brain recluse. A brain recluse. And we've had so many people come to us with brain recluse bites, and that's what we use. And it's not a worry. It's just, okay, let's put a charcoal poultice on. And literally it just clears it right up. Oh, you need to do it right off. Yes. Yeah. But hers looked nasty. It looked really nasty. And she asked me several years ago, Dad, Which label is on it? There's no star. No star. Again, yes.
One quick, do you use charcoal, flax, oatmeal, and psyllium?
No, just choose one.
One of those.
Just choose one of the binders. You choose a binder. The first time that we ever used them, again, I wasn't into this stuff yet. And I was mowing the yard, and I had 30-some yellow jacket bites. 30-some. And I was laying on the couch just shaking. Just, my nervous system was shaking. So Mary Lou went, and she read this stuff, and so she got some charcoal, put it, and made it wet, and put it on. I quit shaking. I fell asleep. I woke up shaking. And so she comes back, assesses the situation. What's different? Why is it shaking? It wasn't shaking, it is shaking. What's the difference? Oh, the charcoal's dry. She re-wets it, I quit shaking. So she realized you got to keep it wet. So the binder here helps to do two things. One, keep it moist, because any poultice, I don't care what poultice you got, it's got to be wet. Even if it's a mullein poultice for breast cancer, it's got to be moist to draw. And so, the other thing is it holds it together better, because when it dries, it's going to be a mess. I'm just telling you how to make a huge mess. And I find that the psyllium makes less of a mess, and the psyllium has less propensity to tattoo. Again, over the tattooing aspect, if you have the charcoal poultice with the psyllium will last about 7 days in the refrigerator. If you made more than what you need and you don't want to go back, it's kind of like grandma's bread. If you didn't eat it fast enough, it would mold. That usually wasn't the problem. It was gone. But the psyllium is not processed or doesn't have preservatives in it, and the psyllium will start to mold, just like the bread will start to mold. So to keep it from molding, use what you need. And that 7 days, the extra, cut it off, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer, and it'll last years.
Yeah.
And just pull it out, put it in a microwave. You can thaw it out, but be careful the microwave. When it heats, it can hold the heat quite well in that gel. So make sure it's not too hot. Yes, ma'am.
How long you have to keep the poultice?
It depends.
For 4 hours or overnight?
It depends on what you're doing. If it's something really bad, I might do it 15 minutes. Like a bowl. Y'all know what a bowl is? A boil. A bowl, the pain will go away fast. And you can tell it does. It goes away fast. But then it may, in several hours, start hurting again. That means it has absorbed all it can absorb, and now you've got to put another poultice on. So it depends on what you're dealing with, on how often. Was there another part? Okay. Yes?
I don't have a question. I just wanted to share something about the charcoal.
Yes.
When we in Asheville this past summer, we did realize we had a man come in who had a wound similar to that foot, and it was on both of his legs, just weeping, smelling up the place. You could
It's
just
great
smell
for
it
that.
up. Awesome.
Yes.
So the John Dingley, he's the one who has the charcoal house. So he didn't really know exactly what to do, so he prayed, and then he
That's the most
decided
important.
that's the most important for guidance. So he used the charcoal as a pepper. He peppered it, and like you said, you mentioned that it's tattoo, have a tattoo feather. But that's what he did, and he peppered it, and then put the things on it, wrapped it, and then, sent it away. Well, the next day, he came back, and he told us that he was in great pain before, and he had no pain. He was able to sleep
Yes.
just from putting that on.
Yes.
It wasn't like a regular poultice, right?
Right.
But he was able to sleep. The smell, because they had taken him, by car, and it was kind of unbearable driving. And so this time, the smell had, dissipated. It was way, way lower than it was before. And so by the next day, then they started doing, the other poultices and using flaxseed. And he just got better and better. And he was just praising God because in the beginning when they told him, to come, he was afraid to come because he knew it would smell. And, he was just really conscious about it. But he didn't think anything could be done because he actually came from the Veterans Hospital and they did all they could do and they sent him home, and that's what was the result of sending him home. So he basically was going to be out of here soon because of those wounds not being healed properly. So, yes, exactly. You got pictures of it.
This is who she's talking
Oh, yeah.
about. This was in your neck of the woods.
Yes.
So it was just a blessing to see God work within, like you said, 2 minutes with the other thing. But can you imagine someone who's been in pain
Sure.
for so long? He lost hope. And so when he came and he said, okay, well, I'll try it. And so he was able to get relief overnight where he could actually now sleep.
What was the best thing, what was the most important thing that she just talked about in the last 3 minutes?
Praise.
He praised God. The
Praise
man
God.
praised
Yes.
God. That's the most important thing. Yes, it caused healing.
Yes.
It was much better, less pain, but the most important is he gave God
He
praise.
gave God the glory.
That's right. And that's what he would help a person do.
Like the blind man.
Like, yes,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
just know that once I was blind, now.
He did give his life to Christ as a result of it. And he's trusting God more and more. He was coming off of drugs and everything because he was taking drugs as well. So that was a miracle, not just for him, but for
Sure.
all of us to see it happen that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Infected wound, tree stings, bites, inflammation, gout. It's tremendous for gout, pain, cancer. We found it battle-free. We used it for breast cancer, lung cancer, eye infections, dental infections. This is from the CDC. Antibiotic resistance is among the CDC's top concerns. Upper respiratory infections account for 75% of all antibiotics prescribed by office-based physicians. Antibiotics are often used inappropriately. More than 10 million courses, that could be a trillion. But more than 10 million courses of antibiotics are prescribed each year for environmental conditions that do not benefit from antibiotics. I had a guy a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, come in. He was mad as a cat on 10 hypoxia. I mean, he was mad. I said, what you mad about? He says, I just took my daughter to the emergency room, asked that doctor for an antibiotic. She's sick, or it was his boy, and he's sick, and he did not give him an antibiotic. I said, well, what did the doctor say is wrong? He said he had a virus. I said, the doctor did the right thing. Antibiotic will not work on a virus. And that's the problem. Why do doctors give antibiotics for viruses? Usually it is us. We want something. And so they're keeping us happy. And it ain't going to work. But what it's going to do is it's going to make you actually antibiotic resistant potentially.
Well,
Yes.
so you thought when you tried for this person that pulled glass through, was glass.
Wow.
It was amazing.
They use charcoal pull glass.
Yes, actually pull different glass out of them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The losing battle against deadly bacteria is a public health crisis. Just last year, I heard on the news this gentleman talking. He was one of the drug scientists, and he says, we've got to go back to the Amazon to look for antibiotics. For our current antibiotics and pharmaceuticals are not working. Boy, isn't that interesting? Boy, I've got something really cool. So I was down in Brazil a couple months ago, and a couple asked me, and I've had several bucket things, and that week I had 2 bucket things happen. One, I just told Mary the week before, I want to go to the Caribbean, over to the Polynesian Islands, and I got asked to go on a week-long medical clinic in Tahiti next year. And I wanted to go down to Amazon on a medical boat. I just wanted to do that for many, many years since I met a physician. And they asked me to go down to Amazon on a medical boat. The only problem is that you have to be careful. There are some islands some communities on the Amazon that are still cannibals. So you don't show up with those guys. Infections, these things you need from infections, just a little bit on what it's antibacterial, antibiotic, antiviral. It addresses these issues. And then it's Allison. Immune system, these are things that you can do for the immune system. 3 common ones, sugar, sleep, or sugar, sleep deprivation, and stress. We know that 1 minute of stress will increase will lower the immune system significantly for 6 hours. 1 minute of anger, 1 minute of major stress will lower the immune system significantly for 6 hours. Boils. Boils are usually a blood issue. It can be a sebaceous cyst that had been burst that can turn into a boil, but it's usually a blood issue. And you've got to purify the blood. Chaparral is probably one of my favorites. I'll be taking my family to see Chaparral in 2 weeks, I believe. It's outside of, we're going to ASI. I'm going to take them up to Flagstaff where the Chaparral grows. And who's ever drank Chaparral?
Oh, it's awful.
Who?
Is it bitter?
Nasty, isn't it? Yes, you need to close me. It is nasty. Pardon? Yes, it's a bush, and it's the leaves. I use it a lot for acne. It's huge for acne for teenagers, gals in their 20s, 30s that have acne. It's used 3 caps, TID, 3 times a day. It works great. I use it on people who, someone just this week brought a dog in with skin issues, and we use Chaparral. It's great for mange, itching. Usually itching issues and skin issues on the dog is usually due to its grains in the dog food. Go to a non-grain and it usually solves it. Yes?
I've seen that in patients.
Oh, absolutely.
They can treat, of course, boil.
Yeah, so you want to use a bit of blood purifier and to clean the body up really good, like the burdock, the Paniarco, Chaparral, and something really strong. Chaparral is my favorite thing. And the Paniarco is another great one. It really is. As a tea, good amount. You can, yes. Now the Navajos apply it topically. They make a paste out of our sap out of the Chaparral. That's got to be terrible. It's got to stink terrible. But they make a salve and put it topically on the balls. Yes.
Question.
Charcoal poultice. Yes.
So in Jamaica, I don't know. In Jamaica, my mom, she used to give us cerasee tea. I think it's, what is it called here? But you can eat the fruit stem off of it too. There's like these little yellow pods. I don't know, maybe bitter pods. I don't know what it's called, but they call it cerasee in Jamaica. You probably need to learn the American name for it. And she would always say, "Oh, come on, it's time to do a clean out."
Yes.
So would that be the same thing, like the same concept with?
The same concept, absolutely. Purifies the blood. Soursop? Is that what it is? Soursop.
No, that's different.
Well, soursop's good to use that for cancer. Which soursop is also graviola, yes. Just you can use it as tea, you can use it as a capsule, you can use it as an extract. Or one that y'all use a lot in the Caribbean is leaf of life.
Yes.
That's an amazing product. Yeah. People will call me from the Caribbean and they'll say, "What herbs shall I use for this?" I don't know. You got all kinds of herbs growing on your house. And God put them there for y'all to use. And I like mailing to the Caribbean because it gets lost in the postage system. And they need it now. Well, go ask some old woman, go ask some old man, and take them up in the woods and go get it. Because so much grows in the Caribbean. It's just really, really good medicine. Oh, bitter melon. Bitter melon, okay. But boils are normally a blood blood issue. They need to clean the blood out. Because remember, the skin is the largest organ. And the elimination through the skin is one of our elimination mechanisms. And so if we can't get it out the other ways, it's going to come out the skin.
I have a question.
Yes.
How long for the team and how amount?
Of the amount. So if I want to do chaparral, I'm going to
No,
do
no, like this is very close. How long for it? Like 2 weeks and 1 hour?
until it's gallon. Yes. And who was it said that we should drink red clover every day?
This morning.
Yes, Mrs. Watt said we should drink red clover every day. It's an excellent phytoestrogen, which gets rid of xenoestrogens, which is your plastics and those kind of guys, and toxins and chemicals. It's a great blood purifier. Red clover's a good choice. Yeah, it also fights cancer. Thyroid. On thyroid, let's come back to thyroid. There are 4 no's in thyroid, 4 no's. No chlorine, no fluoride, no bromide. Pardon? Chlorine, fluoride, and bromide. Y'all, I'll let you know real quick. I speak Southern, and Southern and Phonics just don't go good together, so I can't spell with a lip. But it's probably B-R-O-M-I-D-E or something like that. Oh, is it on there? Is it okay? There you go. B-R-O-M-I-D, bromide. Thank you. Those guys right there, fluoride, bromide, and I didn't put fluorine. Oh, I don't have it on there. Those 3 are smaller on the periodic table, and they inhibit the thyroid of absorbing iodine. And the thyroid needs iodine. Be careful giving hyperthyroidism iodine. But hypothyroidism, you can use iodine usually. But so those 3 prevent the thyroid from absorbing iodine from what you're intaking through nutrition. The 4th one, Dr. William Davis figured this out back in 1990, and that is wheat. Wheat affects thyroid function. You see it published broad now. The American wheat, the European wheat has 14 chromosomes. The American wheat has 42 chromosomes. It's not good. Also, with the American wheat, when I fly out to Minnesota next week, I will see where they go and spray with Roundup. Now, who grows a garden? Let's say you're going to go pick you a mess of green beans tomorrow. And so, let's say you're going to pick them Monday. You're going to pick you a mess of green beans on Monday. So that means tomorrow you're going to go out there and spray all them green beans with Roundup. Are you going to eat them green beans Monday? No. That is what we do with our wheat today. Right before they harvest it, they're going to spray it with Roundup. And now you're eating that Roundup in your spaghetti, in your bread, in your muffins. And so you don't want to do that.
Why do they do that?
Pardon?
Why do they do that?
They do it because they say they get more yield. They say it dries it out and they get more yield. About the money. I was telling this in Africa, and my translator, he used to be the Minister of Agriculture in Rwanda, and he stopped when I'm begging him, please don't you do what we did in America and super hybridize your wheat. And when I mentioned that, he stopped translating. He turns to me and says, are you saying that you use Roundup in America? I said, yes, sir, we do. He goes, that is poison. He said, I got that banned in Rwanda because it's poison. He could not believe that we feed it to people in America with the knowledge that they have. You know, just general science out in the world. Rwanda knew it was poison. But yet, here in America, it's still good. Ithroid. So Ithroid is a type of iodine. It's a brand. There's Ithroid. I'll think of it. There's just a type of brand of iodine.
Yeah, NASA.
It's a part.
NASA iodine. You talking about the different brands that?
Yeah, there's different brands. There's for some I have a blank on it.
What's some of the brands, Mary? What's some of the names?
Lugo.
Lugo is. Lugos have, what's another one? What's the other one we used to have? I don't remember, but that's just a brand. It's Lugo is what it is. Lugo solution, potassium iodide and potassium iodide is what it is. And it's internal. You can take it externally, you can take iodine externally, and it will transdermally go in. The problem that they found was two things. One is you can have evaporation and you lose some of it. And the other is when you do it transdermally, it doesn't last as long as a PO, as my mouth does. On a time release, it lasts a lot longer than body.
I heard that if you take iodine internally, it sterilizes.
I don't know. Sorry? Okay. Okay. I just don't remember. I just don't remember the one we used to use. Then you want to manage stress. Stress blows the adrenals. Blowing adrenals affect thyroid function. Zinc, you need zinc, but if you take more than 30 milligrams of zinc, you need to take copper because zinc depletes copper. And so you need to take 3 to 5 milligrams of copper if you take more than 30 milligrams of zinc. Selenium, 200 to 400 micrograms. L-tyrosine, 500 to 1,000 milligrams of L-tyrosine. It's an amino acid. Rest, manage stress. Insomnia, this is a hard one, especially post-COVID. We're seeing so many issues with insomnia.
Since post-COVID, we've also seen an increase in scrolling on phones and technology.
True, you're right. We're seeing more scrolling since COVID on the phone. We really got addicted during that time.
Phones. What was the comment again?
Pardon? Oh, she said since COVID, we've also had more scrolling, where people just stay up scrolling. And they got really addicted during COVID to scrolling on using their phones. And that scrolling aspect, we see people more prone to not sleeping. They're just addicted. They stay up, scrolling their phones. Yes. Oh, okay, yes. So the color, this is really cool. Do you have questions for God when you get him? This is one of the questions I have for God. They haven't figured this out yet. The top melatonin experts in the world have not figured this out yet. If you wake up at night, except in the last one, but if you wake up at night, well, it does happen there, and in your eyes see any color other than red, this isn't totally accurate, I'll come back. Your eyes see any color other than red, it will turn down to even turn off your melatonin. So if you get up and you look at your phone, why did my phone ding? Or maybe I'll read the Bible a little bit on my phone or my tablet. If you want to read messages, if you want to scroll some, you will turn off your melatonin. If you have a night light that is white, go to the bathroom, turn on the light that is other than red. It will turn off your melatonin or significantly turn it down. If your clock is any color other than red, it will turn down and turn off the melatonin when your eyes look at it. If there's a night light, if there's a street light outside your window in the yard, and it's coming through the room, and your eyes see it, it will turn down to turn off your melatonin. But this is the interesting thing. It can be a full moon, as it was this week. You can be outside, plumb asleep, wake you up, you look at the full moon, it will not affect your melatonin. And yet when the sun comes up in the morning, it will turn off your melatonin. And moonlight is a reflection of sunlight. But the reflection, they do not understand how that is sunlight, the reflected sun. But the reflected sun off the moon does not affect our melatonin. They have no idea. That's cool. There's 3 big things on sleep. One is how many hours of sleep you're getting. We used to say less than 6 hours was sleep deprivation. Now, Mayo Clinic is saying less than 7 hours of sleep. Harvard is saying less than 7.5 hours, but they're flirting with 8. The Breezel-Belloc study, which y'all
many of y'all know, the Alameda County study, which is Dr. Breslov Bella. It looked at 15 years of 6,950 some people. And they found if you get less than 8 hours of sleep, you die quicker. If you get more than 9 hours of sleep, you die quicker. And that's over a 15-year study. Almost 7,000 people. So we know that we need that good 8 hours of sleep a night. That's for an adult. Then when we went to school, and we were in anatomy and physiology, and you had the charts on the wall. You had your bones, your nerves, your muscles, your lymphatic system, your vascular system. Well, the lymphatic system, the brain was white, because we did not know that the brain had a lymphatic system. And in 2013, Harvard published that the brain has a lymphatic system. It's called a lymphatic system. They didn't know that until then. You think we know everything, and you'll argue until the cows come home. But as science changes, it changes, and we learn more and more. They found out it does have a lymphatic system. And they found that from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, the brain does a deep cleaning. From 10 o'clock to midnight, it does a thorough cleaning. But you've got to be asleep for that to fully work. And so now Harvard University Medical School recommends that the adult go to sleep at 9, children go to bed before then. Yes, sir.
Good reason we need to get rid of daylight savings time altogether.
Amen.
Okay, gotta go. You can't stay on this clock and get the sleep we need.
Yes.
It has to be, we should go to bed with the sun.
Yes.
The later the sun goes to bed, the later we stay up. We need to get that rest.
Amen.
I had someone just yesterday. I knew where they grew up. I knew some history. They're staying up till 11 and 12. I said, what time did your parents go to bed? You grew up on a farm, didn't you? Yes. What time did they go to bed? They said, when it got dark.
No.
When I go to Honduras, I ask them, what time do you go to sleep? They go to sleep with the birds. I ask them in Rwanda, what time do you go to sleep? We go to sleep with the birds. Here in the South, what did we say? We went to sleep with the chickens, the birds. We go to sleep with the birds here too, the chickens. That's when we should be going to sleep, when the birds go to sleep. Yes. So that's important. And then we have learned that you need contiguous sleep. You need to be able to stay asleep with a REM sleep. I have so many people who come in that have problems with sleep apnea. I had a guy come in, he's woke up 700 and some times a night. That's like me coming up and shaking you. A guy came in just 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he wakes up 60 sometimes an hour. I said, that is me coming and shaking you less than every minute. Would that bother your sleep? He goes, yeah, it won't. I said, what's happening? You just don't realize it with your brain, because what's happening is you stop breathing, as your O2 stat starts dropping down, 92, 91, 90, 89, 88, 87, brain goes, wake up! And you go, what did we used to have years ago? Apnea monitors. Remember those? Caused divorces bad. Because when you quit breathing, it starts screaming. It woke your spouse up too, and they go, I can't deal with this. They don't. Now we have CPAPs and BiPAPs, which are far better. It's breathing for you too. But we have people who wake up to go to the bathroom because of prostate. They wake up because they have pain. Or worrying about the kids. Whatever, you need that contiguous sleep through the night. There's all kinds of things you can use. You just have to try them. Everybody's different. It's not a cookie cutter. And we find that it may be sometimes like deodorant. You know how deodorant works for a couple of months and then it quits working? We got to use a different deodorant. Same thing here. Another one that's not on there is Copaiba. Who knows Copaiba? Do you know Copaiba? It's from Brazil. Copaiba anybody know Copaiba? It's phenomenal. It's the most anti-inflammatory plant chemical in the world. Copaiba. C-O-P-I-A-B-A. Is that right? C-O-P-I-A-B-A? Copaiba. Some people pronounce it Copaiba, but in Brazil they pronounce it Copaiba.
I have an oil.
It's an oil, essential oil. It comes from the copaíba tree.
The Torah.
Pardon?
From the Torah?
It comes from Brazil. I think even, I've read even Venezuela has some copaíba trees.
How do you use it?
You can, mostly topically, but it's also used internally. I've got a guy that would have epileptic seizures, grand mal seizures daily. He had to quit working, quit driving. Grand mal seizures daily. He has not had one seizure in over 5.5 years. He does 4 drops of copaíba sublingual twice a day. It stops his seizures. It's great for essential tremors and people use it to want to sleep. I dropped a countertop on my foot a couple weeks ago, heavy, close to 200 pounds. And I just knew I broke my foot. I didn't have shoes on. I was inside. And I just knew the foot was broken. And it did, but I mean, literally within a minute, it was purple. I mean, plum purple. And my daughter-in-law is at my son's house. She brings me over copaíba, and I put it on it. I got home a couple hours later, and the purple was almost gone. I put more on it. The next morning, there was no purple. It's amazing. Yes, you can buy it here. Yes. Copaíba. It's amazing. Yes. Copiaba.
Now, she has it right here, it's Copaaba.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, in reference to the hours of sleep, like you said, less than 8 hours, people die soon. More than 9 hours, people die soon.
Die quick.
Right. So does that take into consideration reference to the Spirit of Prophecy talks about 2 hours of sleep, or anytime you sleep before midnight, it doubles. So does that take into consideration that?
Okay?
An hour of sleep.
Because if you go to sleep based on the Spirit of Prophecy, if you go to sleep at 10, those 2 hours count for 4.
Correct.
So now, 4 in the morning, that's your 8 hours there, according to what you say. So if you go to sleep, if you're waking up 5 and 6, now you're over 9. So does it take into
It's different. That's different, what you're saying. Yes, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
Again, you heard me talk about Walter Strachan earlier. Dr. Walter Strachan, the psychiatrist. Dr. Strachan would go to bed between 4:30 and 5 in the evening and get up at 1 o'clock in the morning because he read Spirit of Prophecy. He wanted those turbo hours, double the hours before midnight. Yes.
Okay, so wait,
So you still need those actual 8 hours. Yes.
I don't see melatonin.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things I didn't put there.
So that's building something.
Yeah, melatonin, and actually melatonin doesn't make you go to sleep. It can help you stay asleep. Now there's 2 problems we see with sleep. One is falling asleep, and one is staying asleep. My problem is falling asleep because I have a hard time falling asleep because I'm thinking everything I need to get done today, and I know what I need to get done tomorrow. How am I going to get done tomorrow? So on tomorrow's list, but I get today's list done. It drives me nuts. So what does she do? She gives me ashwagandha. Ashwagandha. And that works real good. But I can tell you what works even better. I take it when I go get in bed. Just when I get in bed. And it calms me down fast. But I'll tell you what works the best is a back rub. She'll give me a back rub, and we both go to sleep.
You need a plan B if you don't have.
Exactly. As we're done. I've tried all kinds of ashwagandhas, and they didn't work. There's one by Terry Naturally, and that works the best for me. It's a Terry Naturally, Terry Naturally, and that one works the best for me. Yes?
I have a friend who's watching online, and she said for the boils, do you use all of those, or you would just choose which one you use?
For the boils?
Yes.
Which one? I'll choose one of the herbs. It's a blood purifier. Now, I really didn't say that right. I'll choose which one I have the most peace at. I pray on it, and one God gives me peace at. Y'all ever done that? It's like, again, like this morning I talked about, where you going to pray on the car, you go in that car, you stand right, you don't buy it? Or, let me give you an example.
Matthew 6:33.
Yeah,
Seek ye first the kingdom.
exactly. And if you don't have peace, don't do that, keep praying. Look for something you need to read that. And so that's the way to answer that.
Okay.
So
Yes.
essential oils, any of the essential oils is good?
Are essential oils good?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because I use the young
Yes,
oil.
yes. Essential oil, you can use herbs in 3 ways. You can use just the plain herb, like go out there and pick you some pick you some kudzu. Y'all have kudzu here. I saw it yesterday. You can pick you whatever herb plants out there. You can use it as a tea. You can dry it and put it in a capsule. You can make a poultice out of it. And then you can make extracts. And you can make, so the herbs will last you around a year. Best is 6 months, but about a year. And it's not that they go bad, they just aren't as strong. So do y'all put food up here? Okay, what's an example of? Yeah. Just put them up. Y'all know what good enough is, don't you? Yeah. There's some places they have no idea what I'm talking about when I say putting up food. So you're going to put up, what do you put up? Applesauce. I had some applesauce this morning was put up. Mayors, yes. Green beans. Corn. Potatoes. You put potatoes up? How do you do it? You can them? Okay, yeah, that's right. You can can them. Okay. Peaches. Peaches.
Pears.
Apple. So why do you put up the peaches? Why?
To preserve it.
They'll go bad, won't they? Well, the herbs will go bad. They start losing their effect. So you put them up. How do you put them up? You make an extract. An extract is where you can take, say, glycerin, vegetable glycerin, and you can take distilled water. You want at least 60% vegetable glycerin and 40% water. Less than 60%, you can have pathogen growth. So I don't like 60%. I want pathogen growth. So 65%, 35%. But a lot of people from math, they'll do 70-30. But the higher the vegetable glycerin, the sweeter it is. And so you may not want it as sweet. And you can then that makes what's called a minstrel. And you put that with your herb, you shake it twice a day, and in 30 days your extract is done. If you want even faster, put it in a crock pot, put some water in it, make sure that you don't let it dry out. And in 3 days, it's done. You've got your extract. Yes?
I wanted to know, back on the sleep issue, how do you know you're getting your REM sleep and when does REM occur?
REM is at what, 4 hours? Is REM at 4? I'm trying to remember.
Supposed to be when you wake up, right?
Yeah.
That's
When you
what-
go into multiple, you cycle several times.
Because that's what causes your dreams, and you're not
Right.
dreaming and you're not getting the REM.
Yes. You got to get into that REM sleep. Now, dreaming. So now the next thing is, you can even then take the herbs and make super herbs out of them. I mean, it's like herbs on steroids. If you take 1 drop of peppermint essential oil, how many cups of peppermint tea do you have to drink to be equal? 28. You have to drink 28 cups of peppermint tea to get the same medicinal benefit as 1 drop of peppermint essential oil. Powerful. No. I call them herbs on steroids. That's why they're just amazing.
But I
Yes.
have another herb, cedarwood.
Yes.
That is powerful.
It is, cedarwood is very powerful. Yeah, it is. So these are things on insomnia, stress, #1 diagnosis in America, B-complex, lithium orotate, flaxseed, trace minerals, a number of things that you can use for, what is the most important on that list? There's this lady where I live. She lives up on the mountain, and they have a lady or two like that around here. Or a man or two like that right here.
she can get tore up real easy. You got people like that? I mean, you look at them sideways and they're about ready to explode. Well, tore up, you know what tore up means? Upset. Tore up.
I thought you were talking about Torah.
No, tore up. Upset. And people like that, people don't talk to them. They kind of run away from them because they got things to do and don't have to deal with that explosion every time they're around. She came in last year. And I've known her for 22 years. She come in and she had a health issue and I said, how much stress you got? 0 to 10. Now, she's really 1,000. I said, how much stress you got? She said, 0. I said, no. I said, 0 means no stress. I just knew that wasn't an answer for her. 10 being really bad. She said, 0. I said, how do you have 0 stress? She says, well, not long ago, I found Jesus. And she said, now country people sometimes have something called horse sense. Y'all know what horse sense is? Common sense. And she said, when I found Jesus, I found that there's something I can't do anything about. I can just give it to him. Don't worry about it no more. And I'm good. That's like learning from a baby. Amazing. Do we have that ability? No, we won't snatch it back. And here this country lady, who's just, country as she could be, she just gives it to God. She says, I give it to Jesus. Because there's nothing I can do about it. And the things she can fix, she's still going to fix it. And we need to be the same way. And so trusting God, that is the most powerful. Belief, elevation, pressure, cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper works really good. Also, electricity works good. It's essential oil. Yes, ma'am.
Back to the stress one, can you expound on lithium orotate?
Yeah, that's good stuff. I learned about lithium orotate from Neil Nedley. It's also used to prevent dementia. It's helped as a person starts to have onset of memory loss. It's good for that. There's a lady up in Canada that they have a farm, 5,000 acre grain farm. It's theirs. They don't lease it. It's their farm. 5,000 acres. That's a big farm. I'd like working that farm. And they have several. She's got her own combine. Her husband's got his combine. I mean, they go work. She's from Russia. And I asked her, I said, in Russia, y'all have lithium springs. Did you ever use them? She said, oh yes. She said, the Russian government had us, the people, go and take lithium, like a mineral springs, hot springs, has them go into the lithium springs, have them drink the lithium water because it calms them down. Lithium is an element in the ground. And Natalie talks about lithium. When we're stressed, we dump B vitamins, we dump lithium, we dump magnesium on that side. On the immune side, we're dumping C, we're dumping zinc, we're dumping E. That's why we get sick. We're dumping those things that are important for the immune system to fight. Well, to deal with the next stressor, we need B vitamins, we need lithium, and we need magnesium. There's a hospital in Chattanooga. The top hospitalist, who's the top doctor at the hospital, he told me just recently, in this hospital in Chattanooga, 90 to 95% of every admission into that hospital has magnesium deficiency. That's amazing. And so, why are they more prone to stress? Magnesium.
My question, there's different types of magnesium. What is the best magnesium?
It depends on what you want it for. Some magnesium is like a rifle, and like Mantine or Mantine, and your neurologist will give that for brain function. Or there's some magnesiums like a shotgun, systemically the whole body. So like citrate, glycinate. And then also you want to look at the bioavailability. Some magnesiums have better bioavailability. That's why I like citrate and glycinate. is because they both have good bioavailability and they will do the whole body. And then there's magnesium oils. And so I like the magnesium oil. It's good for the heart, super good for putting on the heart for heart issues, angina, congestive heart failure. It transdermally will get to that muscle very rapidly.
Is that like a spray?
It can be a spray or it can be a rollerball. It's great for on the calves if you have like restless leg. 75% of restless leg is magnesium deficiency. Number 2 is dehydration. Number 3 is potassium deficiency. Number 4 is iron deficiency. We're seeing more and more iron deficiency today because people aren't eating green leafy vegetables. They're not getting the iron. What's a great source of iron that our grandmas gave us when we grew up here in Appalachia? What? That's right. And blackstrap iron. It's a great source of iron. It's a great source of potassium, manganese. Got some magnesium, but especially iron, potassium, and manganese. And sometimes I'm feeding kind of puny. Y'all know what puny is?
Yeah.
And I'll take me a big old spoonful of it and then work it right up because of the minerals in it. Puny. Puny means you don't feel you don't have much energy.
Well, no, what did you take?
I take blackstrap molasses.
Yes.
Tablespoon of blackstrap molasses.
Oh.
For bleeding, cayenne pepper works really well. The helichrysum essential oil, but that's very expensive. But cayenne is just phenomenal. Burns. There's different kinds of burns, different degrees. Cool the burn first. Every kitchen should have lavender essential oil. Lavender essential oil. This last Sunday, I went out at 9:30 in the morning. I stood on the street till 7:30. And my arms and face, were they red? I would have been burned. And I thought, sometimes you just don't put 2 and 2 together. For years, Mary Lou has had lavender essential oil in the kitchen for burn sake. But Sunday afternoon, as I was cooking, I thought, who's best to experiment on? You ain't gonna sue yourself. And so I called Walter. Walter said he was on the way up to the fire hall. And I said, Brian, you got any lavender essential oil in the house? And he goes, yes. I said, bring it to me. And so he came, and I went, and I put it all over my arms. I mean, they were red. I was cooking. I put it all over my red face. And I mean, within less than an hour, the pain was gone. And I did not burn at all. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Pardon? Pain was gone. Totally gone. Now, who's ever used vinegar for sunburns? Vinegar for sunburns. Vinegar works very well. You need 2 bowls of vinegar, depending on how much sunburn you got. You take your washcloth, dot it down in the vinegar, white vinegar, and apply it to the affected area. Don't rub it, just lay it on there. And the washcloth will get hot. Take it off, put it, and keep doing it until the washcloth comes cool. And then you keep doing it all over. And then once it doesn't get hot anymore, you put aloe vera on it. And then actually the vinegar won't get hot. You put it in the freezer and get you a bowl. And then what you'll do is about an hour or 2 hours, you'll get hot again. Repeat the process and keep doing it. That works well. Yes, ma'am.
Did you put a carrier oil to the lavender or just
No, ma'am.
strap?
Neat. Neat means by itself, just plumb by itself. Neat. You want to cool the burn. Pardon? So burns, textbook, burns will continue burning for 12 hours unless you stop the burning process.
Yeah.
That's why around midnight, 1 o'clock, you start to really hurt.
Use salt and lemon.
Salt and lemon. Stops it really fast. Excellent. That's another good one. Thank you. Salt and lemon. What's your proportion?
I said the lemon and salt in it.
Got it. Take a lemon, cut it in half, put salt on it, and rub it on it. Oh, squeeze it. Okay, and then put some salt in it and put it on it. Excellent. See, God has things for us. Well, now, wait a minute. I got a question. You said lemon.
Lemon and
Now,
I eat
Now, in your country, you call limes lemons. Lime or lemon. Okay, got it. Aloe vera, okay. So we were hard. A guy that we worked with. There was when I say this, you'll remember. The mansion, the heater quit working. So he went over to the propane tank and turned it off. Went into the heater room, furnace room, turned on the light, but it didn't work. So no problem, he pulls out his big lighter. And he goes, click, and it went boom. Remember that? Burned his face. Burned his hair, here, eyebrows, eyelashes. His face and neck was plumb burnt. And then he had stripes on it, like a 57 Chevy stripes. He was burnt bad. So we brought him in, and the first thing we did is we poured aloe vera on him. Aloe vera gels. And it soaked it in. And my grandma taught me to use potatoes, grated potatoes. And so in the kitchen they started grating potatoes. And we went potatoes and aloe vera, potatoes and aloe vera. As soon as the potatoes got warm, we put on more potatoes. And we ran out of aloe vera. And so the gals from Colombia, the gals from Venezuela, a doctor had brought us some aloe vera plants. And they're in the greenhouse. And so they started making aloe vera. We did that for 5 hours. He had no, same home, taught his wife what to do. He had no scarring at all. No.
Yeah.
Country's good, burdock, colloidal silver. Who's used Silvadine? Yeah. I went and I was working a house fire years ago before Mary bought me a hood. And I was leaning over and dark char went down my neck, down my back, and burned me good. So I went into the office and to work, and they put put Silvadine on me. And, I had scars for years if I don't went away. But colloidal silver did the same thing. Calendula, chickweed, propolis, golden seal, marshmallow root. That's not marshmallows, it's marshmallow root, which is a herb. Yes?
How would the comfrey work for burns?
It would be good.
How do you use it?
As a poultice.
As a poultice. Okay.
Or you just put it. I would do the poultice, is what I do. Yes?
So I know marijuana, I had went up to Maine. I had went up to, when we were looking for property in Maine, and we stopped at this festival. They had made a poultice out of marijuana, and that they said that was good for burn also. Is that something that you use too, or no?
I have not used that.
Okay.
Yeah. Tennessee law just changed on it. We can't even have CBD in oil. Yeah, you're going to have, are we dealing with transdermal issues here? Poultices. There's different kinds of poultices. The world's #1 poultice, spit poultice. Y'all know what a spit poultice is? Where you chew it up and then you put it on the area. The #1 spit poultice in the world is plantain. But the #1 spit poultice in the South is tobacco. Is tobacco. Why? What do you use it for? These things. That's right. We'd have a bee sting. Now, we didn't use tobacco. But you find, you'd find some fella, some old granddad and grandkid had here, honey. Stick that on there. Or if we were out somewhere and we got a bee sting, it happened more than several times. And a wasp or something, you'd find somebody's cigarette. And back when we grew up, there's a lot of smoking. Say, can I have just an inch of your cigarette? End of a cigarette, and they'll give it to you. You got a bee sting? Oh yeah, no problem, honey. And tear it open. Well, we wouldn't put it in our mouth and chew on it, but put it in our hand and spit it and put it on the area. Did it help? Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, it works good. Pardon?
I said, I keep honey he had it started.
And that was loud.
That, well, yeah, that's right.
Now, there is an herb, there is a product that is made from like turpentine, and it's like a serpentine or something like that. And you'll find it down in South Carolina, Georgia, more South Carolina, and they use that on burns, and it works extremely well also. Yes?
I had a very pale friend who was burnt, and I made a simple cold cream using comfrey, and just a small batch. Leave it in the fridge for a week. It's not going to go bad in just a few days, and it worked really well to cool down the burn. So yeah, it's just a simple cream, you know, the old-fashioned cold cream. And,
Yeah, comfrey's amazing. Yes? For bleeding? So we can also use, if you're bleeding and you can't get it to quit bleeding, the salt and lemon. Or cuts, you can put that on it, it stops bleeding. Good to know. Yes?
So the yarrow plant for bleeding, because
True.
I have read about that, and I
It's true.
have one at my home, and I dry the leaves and, you know, make it into a powder, and I think once or twice when I got a cut, I put it on it, and it does work.
Yes, it does.
It does stop the bleeding.
Yarrow also works for fibroids, bleeding fibroids. My favorite is something called shepherd's purse. I have not tried shepherd's purse topically. If yarrow works for that topically, then shepherd's purse, I need to try that. He said, I use the yarrow for internal bleeding, and I use the shepherd's purse, internal bleeding. If you have like ulcerative colitis or bleeding ulcers in the stomach, cayenne pepper will stop that bleeding.
Oh, I'm just going to say I've used cayenne, that's very effective.
Oh, it does.
A quick question too. A friend of mine had something with trigger finger. Have you heard of that? And she used castor oil.
Yes.
Is that?
It is good. Also, when you have that trigger finger, castor oil is very good for that. And you can also take, remember John McEnroe? I went to New York and took a class for 3 days from his therapist. Very, very good therapist. And what he would do is take an eraser or take something and work, because with a trigger finger, it kind of gets tight right here. And you just keep working that. Mary Lou used to have a trigger finger, and she would do that, and the trigger finger went away. You break that down.
With an eraser?
With you remember them little rectangle erasers that you use in school? But you have to be careful that you don't, mess your skin up. But you can just do that right there and just keep doing that. It breaks that fibroid.
So from a schedule, daily, or?
Just do it multiple times. Every time you think, just do it. Just go around doing this all day long. As much as you can remember to do that. And it worked perfectly.
Thank you.
Yes?
Right now I'm dealing with that and I've been sitting off with the doctor. And of course we know when he's talking about steroids or surgery. And I want to do either one of those things. I mean, I rub my hand at night with a pain sop I made by Lee Willard.
Yes. He's a good guy. We're friends.
Yeah, and he has some good remedies, but it's not really doing it because sometimes when my finger triggers, it is painful when it pops back up.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been seeing the doctor for a while now, and I really have no interest in steroids, neither surgery. So you said just erase and just.
So you feel that little area that's raised up right there?
Yeah.
And you just like take it like this, and just rub that area. And you don't want to rub it until it irritates it too much. But that breaks the tissue down in that area until where it goes away.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah. And the castor oil is good also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have
Yes.
used castor oil because I have that same problem with my middle finger. And that castor oil is not very effective for me. The rubbing, in between here, this part, because this part sticks out, it feels like a bone or something like that. So rubbing in here, but I also found that in here, squeezing this, massaging this also helps.
Makes sense.
But also, what I've been doing is taking more greens in liquid form internally to deal with the circulation problem, and that has brought me to the point where I don't have sticking anymore.
So you're drinking green juice?
Yeah, moringa, which is a very concentrated form I take, and then also the chlorophyll, all the other, all of those. I think those are doing more help than the massaging that I was doing, although that helped. But to get me to this point where I can go in and wake up in the morning and not have a stuck finger, I think internally we need to do cleansing to clean out that circulation. You know.
So it sounds like to me, as I'm listening, y'all have the information to be medical commissioners.
What was that?
Y'all have the information to be medical commissioners. True? Isn't that true? Do you have the information that you can give your neighbor, your kinfolk, your coworker, and give the credit to God? Yeah.
I don't help, and I
The best place in nursing.
all the time I
The best place because you're least restricted in home health.
yes, and those who are sensitive spiritually will start to, and I, with the government, when they begin to open that up, I'm able then to pray with them. It's a great blessing.
It is. Yes, ma'am.
I had spiritual healing.
Yes.
I was fixing my dinner and I had to put my mittens on my hand, on this hand. And I went to pick up the pan out of my oven, and it was on this hand, the glove. And I turned around and I said, Lord God, what am I going to do about this? It was really firm. Really, my hand was really red. And I feel like this, what am I going to do now with this? Or, and I'm turning around like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I looked at that, it was gone.
So do you believe that that can happen?
Yes.
Absolutely. Is God not good?
Amen.
It's good. Why does God not always just do immediate healing? Because I have people who come in and they smoke, and they have emphysema, they have lung cancer. Now, if God just immediately healed that person, they need to stop smoking. If that person has high cholesterol, because they're eating hollow cow chitlins, and you want to know how to get the highest source of cholesterol?
Yeah.
Nope. Brains. Brains. Pig brains, cow brains have the highest source of cholesterol. And so that person has high cholesterol and say, God, please heal me of my high cholesterol. And they keep eating brains and shrimp, which is also high. See why God has us do the lifestyle part? So we stop the bad habit, and then He then blesses. Makes sense? But He also heals like He did to you. Because that was not a bad habit. Well, you grabbed it wrong. I bet you learned. Wild lettuce, California poppy. Wild lettuce is a favorite painkiller of mine. Yeah, here's one over here.
I just want to ask, what have you encountered with psoriasis?
So for psoriasis, we used to use calendula. We used to use, and Dr. Restrepo taught me that we used to use oatmeal. My grandma taught me that one. But it's just quit working. And I called Dr. Agatha. I said, I'm having problems here. What am I doing wrong? She said, what are you doing? I told her, she said, it used to work, but it ain't working no more. I said, what are you finding? She says, having to go gluten-free. She said, just one bite of cracker, wheat cracker, can kick on arthritis, can kick on psoriasis for 2 to 2.5 months. And so she said, having to go plumb for 4 months. If it doesn't get better, then it's not that. But I would try that first.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Wild lettuce is an excellent painkiller. California poppy, Jamaican dogwood, those are really good.
had a guy come in yesterday, and his hand was all burned. And I said, what happened to you? He said, a firework. I said, did you hold it? He says, no. We lit a row of mortars. Thank you. A row of mortars, and he drilled them in. One of them didn't go off. His grandson was standing right there. So he ran and stuck his hand on top of the mortar, and it blew up and messed his hand up. And what do you do for something like that? Well, I said, you want to cool it? He cooled it down. It was probably too late for the lavender, but I told him to try it anyway. I told him he needs to use aloe vera, which is really good for that. But we can get burns, every once in a while. But the biggest thing I told him, I said, is infection. You gotta watch for infection. And he had no infection. And I said, that's what you have to keep the eye on. You're doing well, it's not infected, and just watch for infection. That's important. And also, if it has a blister, do not break the blister. One, it hurts worse. Two, infection. Yeah, some people say, oh, my mama told me to break the blister. No. You gotta leave that blister there. And there's some ointments, don't use ice on the burn. And then, this is one my grandma was wrong. She would use Crisco short. Wrong. That holds the heat in. Do not do something to hold the heat in. Oral care, mouth sores. Mouth sores are normally digestive problems. Most often, mouth sores, tongue problems. Have you ever seen a tongue that looks like the Grand Canyon? Big old craters in the tongue? That's usually digestive issues. So you want to investigate to fix that. Pine sap is good for mouth sores. Aloe vera, golden seal, myrrh powder, beef propolis, activated charcoal, salt. Salt's a great one for mouth sores. Gum disease. My favorite for gum disease is golden seal root and myrrh. Pine sap, also, beef propolis like walnut, barberry, calendula, comfrey. My top three are the top three. Golden seal, myrrh, and pine sap.
Is it like a solution?
Pardon?
Make a solution or flushing?
So what I'll do is I will take 1 teaspoon of golden seal, 1 teaspoon of myrrh powder, make it tea, and then they will swish their gums for 2 minutes, really good. 4 times a day and swallow. And then in between that time, put pine sap on. How late are we going? Don't stop talking. Yes. It's fine. Yes. Salt water rinse every day. It's not a problem. Yes.
So back to what you were speaking about the town. Is that what is considered a geographical town? Is the same thing? Sometimes like if I have pineapple or certain things.
Oh, that's a difference.
That's a difference.
Right. Well, that is a digestive issue still. Something's going on there in the digestion with that, like pineapple or fruit. But I can fix your pineapple problem. Go to Rwanda.
Go to Rwanda?
Yes. The Rwandan pineapple is white in color. Now, our pineapple, Hawaii pineapple, I cannot eat much. My tongue is lit up and it hurts. But there, I can eat pineapple all day and it doesn't bother me. It's a different pH issue.
Yeah, because we went to Costa Rica and another member of this church was there and he said he has the same issue with pineapple. I think it's pineapple and something else. But he had pineapple in Costa Rica. I didn't have it because I was afraid of that happening. He said he had no issues at all.
So it could be like the Rwandan pineapple.
Okay.
They have white pineapples in Hawaii.
Oh, do they?
It's there to eat them.
Ah, okay. So it's the type of pineapple.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Just like tomatoes. Yellow tomatoes are less prone to cause that problem.
Toothaches, clove, charcoal bolster tablet, golden silver myrtle powder, horsetail, pine sap and calendula, chamomile, ginger, caraway, and also old pulling, beneficial.
Charcoal toothpaste.
Charcoal toothpaste. I use charcoal toothpaste.
Yeah, we do it.
It is good, yes. I went to a dentist and gave a dentist in Culpeper one time, a thing of charcoal, and asked him to test to see if it was going to cause enamel problems. He said it didn't have any negative effect on the enamel. Strep throat, the best. Yes, colloidal silver out there, but the best thing I use for strep throat that I like is golden seal. 1 teaspoon golden seal, 1 cup of water, make a tea, gargle every 2 waking hours. Gargle for 2 minutes, every 2 hours, swallow it, and strep throat is usually gone in less than 24 hours.
You said a teaspoon?
A teaspoon to a cup of water. But colloidal silver is another great one for strep. Sore throat, my favorite is not on there, I need to put it on there. My favorite for sore throat is slippery elm. Slippery elm works excellent for sore throat. These also are good for a sore throat. I'll slip around, I'll make a tea of it and just drink. Or in my bag, I get hoarse when I'm speaking, and I'll put I've got slippery elm tablets, and I'll suck on a slippery elm when I'm speaking.
That's great for gastritis.
Oh, slippery elm. Oh yeah, slippery elm is an excellent tool for gastritis.
I don't know if you're going to that, but I didn't see anything in the food section for cavities.
Something for cavities?
Yeah, did you have something on cavities?
I don't. Do you?
Well, I do.
Yeah.
Iodine.
Okay.
Povidone iodine.
What's that?
Povidone iodine.
Okay.
And then also,
Just topical?
yeah, just topical,
How often?
every day,
Just once a day?
once a day, yeah.
On just the tooth or also the gum?
The tooth, and like if you have loose pockets around the gum.
Okay.
Also, lavender and peppermint oil, essential oil.
Okay.
Drop into the cavities. Yeah.
So you do all three?
I'm sorry?
You do all three of them?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Excellent.
I do salt water rinse.
Okay. Salt water, it's amazing. Salt water has a chemical reaction that nullifies the pain,
Yes.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
For sore throat,
Yes.
now what I have used, and I had heard about this years ago, and it knocks it right away, but I just wondered, is it safe as causing any damage? Food grade hydrogen peroxide, using it as a gargle. It
Yes.
knocks it right away for me, and I just
Yes.
wondered if
But make
that's
sure
safe.
it's food grade.
Yeah. food
And make
grade.
sure you dilute it.
Yeah, I do.
How much do you use?
I use like 1/3 to 2/3. 1/3 hydrogen peroxide, 2/3 water.
Okay, that's a lot. Yeah, but then you don't swallow.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
And that was for what?
Sore throat.
Yes. For bad breath. Bad breath could be that they're not brushing their teeth or they're not brushing their tongue. You want to brush your tongue when you brush your teeth. The other one, it can be halitosis, can be from stomach, but it can even be from constipation and where they're having just poor digestive issues. And so you want to fix that problem. Yes, you can brush your teeth and you can use, different kinds of, mouthwashes or whatever, but you want to get to that gut issue.
I think chlorophyll sometimes.
Chlorophyll? Yes, chlorophyll is used. That's right.
What about
Fungus, that's a hard one. Yeah, it's easier to reverse type 2 diabetes than it is to get rid of nail fungus. Yeah, nail fungus, well, it can take 6 to 12 months. So, do y'all remember Dr. Harold Cherney. Y'all have that book that says Natural Remedies Encyclopedia?
Yes.
Well, Cherney's name is on there. Cherney was a surgeon. He was triple board certified surgeon, emergency medicine, and family practice. He was a great guy. He was another Thrash, another Crane. He was just an amazing guy. And Cherney, he said that usually nail fungus issues is you don't have good gut biome. And he said take lactobacillus. When I went back to school, one of the nutrition classes I had said that was the problem. Take a good probiotic with good lactobacillus. The next thing is you can put like oregano oil, not oil of oregano, it's just not as strong. Oregano oil, say in the morning, and tea tree at night. Some people say Vaseline works, but that's what I goes. But it has to be contiguous every day. And also as the nail grows out, you want to keep cutting that bad part off, keep cutting it off as that nail grows out.
So what about doing, like, detox in the body? Detox?
Like a foot detox?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like bath detox?
Oh, so just in general.
Yeah.
In general, probably one of the best detoxes I have found is drink adequate water and juice. Do a juice fast. A juice fast is an amazing detox, and drink a lot of water. That does a really good detox in the body. If you want to do a liver detox, you can do no thistle, dandelion root. If you want to do a kidney detox, that would be corn silk and dandelion root. Or you can do a gallbladder liver cleanse, which Dr. Arcella, Joel Arcella, you remember Joel Arcella? Arcella was, did you know Arcella?
I do know very well.
Yes, Arcella, he was a sharp guy. He was the top surgeon in his field in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And also that wasn't enough money, so he was working the ER at night, the ED at night, the trauma center at night. And God said, leave it. And he did.
I remember years ago he wanted us to, I don't know if you remember that sanitarium that he had.
Yes, up in Berlin, New Jersey.
That's right, he wanted us to take it over.
Yeah.
I remember.
So, Arcella would, I don't care if you had arthritis or if you had cancer, you had to do a gallbladder liver detox.
Is that the one with drinking the oil?
Yes. So you do apple juice, a quart for 3 days, and then the morning, at night you do 3 ounces of lemon juice, 3 ounces of olive oil. If you don't have olive oil, you can do 2 ounces of coconut oil and the juice of 2 lemons.
Yeah.
And then you take some lobelia, if you don't know, because lobelia dilates the bile duct. You do 30 drops. And then he would have you lay down for 1 hour on your gallbladder on a heating pad, if you had a gallbladder, and then get up and whatever. And we found that it's best to do it around 5 o'clock, because if we did it at 9 o'clock, there's a difference. For your local people around here, it won't be a problem, because they fry everything: maters, taters, ice cream, pickles, cheese, okra, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper. I mean, they're deep frying soft drinks now. And so they use so much oil that it doesn't bother them. But for the person who doesn't eat a lot of oil, somewhere around 2.5, 3 hours later, you can wake up nauseous. Well, drink some peppermint tea. But for the local people, ain't gonna bother them. Don't worry about it. Well, you do that at night. That's going to back flush the liver and the gallbladder in the night. The next morning, you take a half a gallon of warm water with 5 teaspoons of sea salt in it. Mix it up good and drink it all within 30 minutes. I'll put in 2 quarts, drink 1 quart in 15 minutes, the other quart in 15 minutes. Don't try to drink it too fast. Throw up. And then you,
Is that to move the bowels?
yes. So the volume of water, the warm water, the sea salt, and then you put 2 lemons in that too. And that can make it taste a little bit better. It's only for taste.
and then stay in the bathroom for 2.5 hours. If you've only got one bathroom, only one person will do it at a time. This is real stuff here. And you do that for at least 5 days. Now, he had Mary Lou do it for 11 days. And,
Oh, you need to flush every.
yes, night, morning, at least 5 days. But you go as much as 11 days. And you pray on it. You know, whatever God gives you peace at, if He gives you peace at doing 9 days, do 9 days. Whatever He gives you peace at.
I've done it, but I've heard not to do it, like, I think, for 2 weeks. After you do it once, you wait 2 weeks and you do it again.
No, you do it, so you do the apple juice for 3 days, and then you do the night, morning, at least 5 days, up to 11 days. Now, if you want to get like Arcilla, see, we're juicing during this time.
Yeah.
So during the juicing, you're not going to have a lot of fiber. So Arcilla would do it until you had no fecal material. It was plumb flushed out, and you're doing juicing, so you're not going to.
Oh, you're saying the flushing, not the oil concoction.
Yeah, you're saying that every night too.
Oh, you do that every night too?
Yes, sir. And you did it until there's no fecal material, until the color was not dark brown, and until it didn't smell. And then you stop. Oh, and also there's globules in it. So, you want to get fun? So what Arcilla would do is you take a wire hanger, and then you take netting, like y'all women stick under your wedding dresses, that ribbon, and you make a little net and staple it on there. And you set that on the toilet, put the seat down on it, and then you'll get a rubber glove, and you'll get a little cup. And during that 2.5 hours the next morning, you get you a pitcher of water and you wash it, and you pick out those globules. Now they'll be from fluorescent green to dark brown. They can be small, as big as your thumb, with this digit right here, and you squeeze it. Now, if it squeezes like a jelly bean, it's actually probably bile and cholesterol in that liver. But if it's hard, save that in the cup. That's probably your gallstone you just call it. And Arcilla, this is how Arcilla does. He was so much fun to work with. He really was. He made it fun. So yes, that's one way to do it. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I had the gallbladder problem, and I'm telling this lady, telling me to do that.
Can I get 1 second?
And I had all that bile piled up in my gallbladder.
1 second.
It was so piled up in my gallbladder, I was at the emergency room, crying wolf. I mean, I was screaming so loud that it threw me all over the hospital. Because, I mean, sometimes those remedies are best for the gallbladder, sometimes they make it worse. So they took my gallbladder out, but they took my gallbladder out, but they didn't get all the bile out. So I tell you what, that's the worst pain. Your body will go through trauma pain. And they took me back to Roanoke, and they had to do that bile thing, you got it out because, they got it out for some time. And my body has shut down. And
So did you use low big? Did you use low big?
I used the lemon juice and all that other stuff.
Did you use low big?
No.
What happens is if you don't use the lobelia, that bile duct can be closed. And it won't dilate right, and it can get clogged up in there. And so if you use the lobelia, it opens it up, and you probably won't have that problem.
You know, but I stayed in the hospital for like a week ago.
Yeah, that's why Arcilla used the lobelia.
Are you saying Lobelia?
Yes. In the mountains, they call it lobelia. Yes. Yes. Now, if you have problems with nightshades, lobelia is a nightshade. Lobelia is a great tool for the lungs, and a number of things. Pardon? Ear infections. My favorite for ear infections is you take a spoon and you fill it about 70% full of olive oil, and you take about a half a capsule of golden seal, stir it in there, and then you, for an adult or a child, you put 3 drops in the ear. And you rub it like you rub it down in a dog's ear. If it's an infant, you do 2 drops. And then those hot packs that guys use, you can get at Walmart, if you break it, you use it for hunting, for keeping your hands warm. You put that on there, put you a bobbin on or something, keep it on the ear. And every 2 hours, you put 3 drops or 2 for an infant, and rub it in, put that heat pack back on. And ear infections are gone, usually less than 24 hours, usually less than 12 hours. It's amazing how fast they go away. Yeah. Garlic oil out of a heat light can help. A light bulb candle can also be beneficial.
For children.
Yes?
Put out on the window, wrap the pieces of that wrap, put a sock on them, and they go to sleep, and they're baby long.
Really? They put anything else besides saran wrap? Isn't that amazing? Wow. That's cool. Yeah. Eye care?
I have a question.
Yes.
So the ear packs for the wax, for the dog.
Oh, forget the wax out?
Yeah.
Your candle?
Candles.
And do it multiple times, because you can put one candle and it can melt the wax and get even worse. I was speaking with, remember Bob Jorgensen? Bob and I were over at Oakmore teaching over in North Carolina, and Mary Lou called me, and she says, I got a lady, how many candles can I use? I've used 8 candles, and she's still getting stuff out. And I said, well, there's a lady in Culpeper. I know she did someone 12 times, and there was no problems. I was just learning this stuff. And so I said, don't go over 12. Well, 11 times. The other year she did, 8 times? Now, the lady could not hear her husband talk. Her husband had throat surgery, some type of surgery, I don't remember what it was. And he couldn't talk hardly at all. She couldn't hardly hear it all. And so it was a challenge. And so she could hear it. He started crying, she started crying. She could hear him, she could hear, she could hear him, and it was big. But, and then she'd come in 1 every 6 months, and we keep that cleaned out. So it may not just be 1 or 2. You may have to do it for a little while to clean it out.
I did it one time, and then I went to California, and I wanted to do it again, so I ended up in the same time. He said, don't use that time with that, it's not safe. So he gave me like a oil. He seemed to do that, it got work, but the condom worked first. So I turned on and I saw what I had. That's what I want to have another one, he said that it doesn't work.
Yes.
Well, the condom, it doesn't work.
It does, it works good. The Native Americans have used it for many, many years. The Asians have used it for many years. It's not something that's just something they can come up with. They can use it for many years. I know the Cherokee uses it. Eye care. My favorite is vitamin E oil. You can use flax seed. Yes? That one. Gotcha. You can use flax seed, but our doctors are taught in school to use flax seed. But what I find what works better is that flax seed is an irritant in there. I've tried it. It hurts. So how many of y'all ladies have made egg replacer out of flax seed and water? And it's all slimy looking stuff. That's what you're after with the flax seed. So just make the slimy looking stuff and throw the seed away, and just pour that slimy stuff in your eye, and that works good. But my favorite is just the vitamin E oil. We had a guy at Harlan that one of our he was from Akron, and he was working in the shop with Renee pipe, and they were cutting a piece of wood, and a piece of splinter went plumb across where he was and got his eye. He was not wearing eye protection. So he came up to the lifestyle center, and we were working with somebody. I said, just lay her on the exam table, and I'll put some vitamin E oil in. And I said, we got something. He wanted me to take him to the hospital. I said, I'll take you to the hospital. But we got a real acute issue going on here. I'll be right back. And I came back in less than a half hour. He says, I'm ready to go back to work. He said, no, it feels good. It's like vegetable, vitamin E oil in a stretch style. It works really good. Yes?
I had a campus when I was at Memphis Temple. The mother had eye surgery, and she was healing and everything. She came and her eye was really red, and I had
Yes.
If I use oil, is it drop?
Yes, yeah, just, you can either take a capsule, pop it and squirt it in there, or just have some vitamin oil. If I have an eye infection, is it here? There you go. I use it. You can use the charcoal sulfates, but my favorite is the golden seal wash. And so what I'll take is I'll take 1/16 of a teaspoon of golden seal, 1 ounce of water, boiling water, pour it on there, and then pour it to a coffee filter. It's the only thing a coffee filter is good for. And then, because you don't want that, see, a coffee filter works good because it doesn't wick up like a paper towel or tear. And when you just take that tea and put it in golden seal tea is amazing for eye infection. Pink eye, which you can use, Almond's good, but pink eye, there's different types, bacterial, viral, dry, like bacteria, allergies. Treatments. Who's lived on a farm with cows? How did y'all get rid of it? In the herd. If you had a herd, and you had pink eye in the cows, how'd you get rid of it?
I don't remember.
Salt. You can buy in some new cows, and those new cows coming in have pink eye. You just catch them out looking, take you some salt, and throw it in their eyes. And it works. Now the vet says it kind of dries eye out a little bit. You can use saline solution. My favorite is the golden seal wash for pink eye, but you can use raw cow's milk, raw human milk, raw goat milk. That works well. I had someone just this week. They wanted to know what to do, and their wife was pregnant. Could they use the breast milk? I said, sure, you can use breast milk, it's fine. Look at the women in the Caribbean. Did they squirt breast milk in the baby's eyes every day? Yeah. Or in Africa, or in the Appalachian women, they would do it. Preventively, they would squeeze the breast milk in the eyes. Prevent infection. If there is infection, breast milk is phenomenal. Periwinkle, white periwinkle, golden seal wash, lemon in the morning, honey at night.
Have you ever heard of lemon and honey for curing eyes so that you can see when you look through glasses?
Let me tell you that one in just a moment. Yes.
Uncurable. Anyway. What about cataracts?
Okay, let me come right back to that one. Let's come over to this one. There was a fellow in Germany. The question is for blindness. There's a guy in Germany. Let me close my eyes and see the picture. His right eye pupil was totally blown. He had no vision in his eye. He went to the hospital every day, and they put honey in his eye. And now they measured it with a syringe without a needle, which is so they got a measurement. You know how a hospital would think. Squirted in his eye every day. At 3 months, and every 3 months, he could see. At 6 months, the physicians could not tell he had had an eye, he had been blind. At 9 months, the optometrists and ophthalmologists could not tell. And he did honey all 9 months. Just the honey, yes. I like you, maybe, I use CAN-C, C-A-N-C. It's by Wise Choice Medicines, N-acetylcarnosine. And what it does is it opens up the sewer system in the eye where the eyes start draining like they're supposed to. And I do have people tell me their vision gets better using that. Also, I have an item called Night Eyes, and that has zeaxanthin. It's got bilberry. It's got several things like that. And I have people telling me that their eyes have gotten better with that. And the question you had was cataracts. So I use the CAN-C. CAN-C does work for cataracts. It works better for dogs. Veterinarians use it on dogs. It was made for humans. Dr. Balichet is the doctor in California, surgeon that came up with it. But the vets decided that they market it to veterinarians and they use it on dogs. It works very, very fast on dogs. For humans, it works. The other thing is you can do this one right here. You can do lemon in the morning, honey at night, and I've seen cataracts go away with that.
Is there any particular type of honey that you're
Local, just the key on honey is make sure it's plum, 100% honey. because people are bad to start cutting it with high fructose corn syrup. And so you want to make sure you know the apiaries that you're getting it from. Do not trust something you buy in the store. Also, you'll have honey out of Argentina. It says Argentina. China will send it to Argentina, label it, and send it saying it's Argentina.
But not like dry eye or macular.
Okay, so macular degeneration. There's a product called Armed, and it's by the same company, Wise Choice Medicine. It's out of stock right now, but it works very well for both dry and wet macular degeneration. Yeah, and for dry eye, I use the CanC, but another problem that they're finding, number one, I had an eye doctor work with me for about 2.5 years at the store. He was retired, and he came and helped us out. And the first thing he would tell people, make sure you drink plenty of water. Because if you're dehydrated, you're looking more prone to have dry eye. But another thing they're finding with dry eye is that you're not producing enough oil. And so what they're doing is they put a night pack on the eye. You know how the things women put, these hot blue women put on their black things they put on their eyes? And you get one of them and you put these little hot packs in it, and it heats it up, and it makes your eye produce oil when you go to sleep. It doesn't last long, it's not super hot, but increasing the oil, natural oil in the air and the eye is helping with dry eye during the daytime. On glaucoma, the CanC works the best I found because glaucoma is due to the sewer system being clogged up, and then the pressure comes down. We've had good results with CanC. 2 drops twice a day. It's called Wise Choice Medicine. More omegas? Yes.
Is that CAN-C?
Yes.
Wise Choice, that's the company?
Wise Choice Medicine is the name of the company. Yes, ma'am.
With the honey, you just put pure honey in? Or
Yes.
Just
Yeah, it kind of burns a little bit. It's a little sticky.
like with a, what do you put it in to make it?
So you can use a medicine dropper,
Okay.
or you can use let's say, the blade of a butter knife and just dab it in just a little bit and drop it in the eye.
Okay. And the same with lemon juice? It's just
Pardon?
pure lemon juice?
Lemon juice, just drop it. Now, if you have a torn retina, do not put it in the eye. But if it's not torn, you're okay.
Pure is.
Yeah.
Pure. Oh, now some people will take a drop of lemon juice and a drop of distilled water, mix it together and put that in there, and that kind of dilutes it a little bit. Yes, ma'am.
Speaking about the floaters.
Yes. So the floaters, I used to have floaters. I don't have floaters anymore, and I use the CanC. Now 2 drops. I do 2 drops twice a day. 2 drops if you're having problems of any that we just mentioned, or if it's just proactive, 1 drop twice a day.
Now, if you're on medication for your eye.
A good question. So if you're taking CanC, you cannot take it if you're taking zeaxanthin, which is a natural, like I said, the night vision stuff. So you can't use CanC and zeaxanthin, and what's the other one? There's zeaxanthin and one other one, but especially zeaxanthin.
But lutein or lutein?
No, lutein's okay.
Astaxanthin?
Yes, astaxanthin. Yes, you can't take astaxanthin and zeaxanthin along with CanC.
I mean, if you're on glaucoma medication, specific ones, does that make a difference? Like if
Not that I know of.
Zolpine,
Yeah.
another.
Not that I don't know. Not that I know of. I double check and ask them at Wise Choice. They would know.
You have a suggestion for someone who has had a stroke?
Has what?
Stroke.
They had a stroke?
Yeah, and it's drooling.
Drooling.
Oh, they're drooling.
Yeah.
How long has it been?
1 or 5 years.
Pardon?
1 or 5 years.
How
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Wow. The first thing is going back to Arcilla. And Arcilla, fell on Marcella taught me this years ago. First item is you have to look at the organ or system that's involved. Then you have to look at secondary and tertiary organs and systems that might affect the primary organ or system. Then you do, so the organ or system, which is an organ, is the brain. So we've now identified it. Now, you then have to look at what secondary organ or systems can affect brain function. Digestion, cardiovascular, and so, you know, and then what can affect those? Then the next thing you have to do is figure out, is there anything that could harm the brain? Or the primary, or the secondary, the digestive system or the cardiac system. And stop anything that could harm those. Sleep deprivation, alcohol, illicit drugs, brain-wise, sugar. And so anything that could harm the brain or the digestive system, you stop that. Then you've got to give the primary and secondary tertiary organs what they are systems, what they need to run well. So what does it take for the brain to run well? You can use things like the omega-3s. You can use making sure they're well hydrated, they're getting their sleep, getting exercise. Exercise increases brain function for 2 hours when you exercise. And so if you do what Walter Kempner did at Duke University, when he looked at little humans and big humans, he found little humans exercised 4 times a day. They had recess in the morning, they had PE, they had recess in the afternoon, they went home and played. So he applied that to his big humans and had them exercise 4 times a day. Well, when that happens, and then it increases that vascular flow, the oxygenation to the brain. So exercise is huge. And then when you increase the processing speed by 2 hours, so that's now 8 hours. And you want to do things that will help brain function, like things Dr. Nedley talks about, some of the supplements he uses. 5 years is a long time, so that's a tough one. But it's still something that's going on there, so you want to improve that brain function. And I'd look at Nedley, some of his, because he's done a lot of work on improving brain function. But that's what I would do. We're having people walking out, so I don't know how long we'll go. Yes?
How can we get all the information on how to do it?
How can you get that out there? It's online. You can go back online and get it. You can also, is this on our YouTube? I don't know if it's on our YouTube or not. But Mary Lou's got this on DVD.
I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
She is concerned because she says she feels like she can pull something off of her eye. She's seeing floaters. They put the floaters in the system, and it looks like something's moving, and it's just floating her eye. She feels like she can go and pull it off. And I'm thinking that has to do with maybe a retina issue. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. Have you experienced anything like that before?
Well, we know floaters move, and sometimes, is it when she first gets up, or is that at any time?
All the time.
All the time. I know when we first get up, sometimes we may have stuff, in our eye, sleepy or whatever, or some type of leakage that the eye has that can cause problems like that. I would try the lemon juice. I would try the honey. Try the PNC, see how those work. Yes, sir.
Yeah, this one takes us way back to ear. I usually get a lot of drainage in my ear. Is there anything I can do for that?
Drainage from
Yes.
the ear.
Yeah, it's just, it troubles me a lot when I'm driving.
I would try a far infrared light.
What is it?
Far infrared.
Infrared light.
Far. There's near, mid, and far.
Okay.
I would use the far. And we're getting very good results on far infrared for inner ear fluids or just ear issues. And you can get it just a far infrared light, depending on the wattage, 200, 700. If it's 200, it's like 4 to 8 inches. If it's 700 watt, it's like 11 inches. The far infrared, we're having good results. Dr. Agatha, the problem is she would use a 100 watt incandescent bulb. You can't buy incandescent 100 watt bulbs anymore. You buy 60s, but not 100s. And you put it on a, like a shop light or something, and hold it off the ear, and that heat would go and dry that out. But the far infrared will do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? She said gluten is affecting her when she does that.
Gluten
Gluten,
affects?
the drainage from the ear.
Okay.
Stop eating.
Yes, that's what she's finding.
Okay.
Well, guys, thank you very much. We covered a lot of items. In my back of my mind, some of y'all weren't in here. We had a storm come in today. Some areas of our county was hit worse than Helene. Our swiftwater rescue team, by the time we started, has done 5 rescues today. And we have another storm coming in tonight that could be as bad or worse, hitting at 7 o'clock. So that's in the back of my mind. A storm. Where I live. And near Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg. Between Knoxville and Nashville on I-40.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Again, were you blessed?
Amen.
Talk about having a not working knowledge of anything. It's like a working knowledge.
He feeds up with God.
Huh?
He feeds up with God.
Oh, exactly. All right. If you've been blessed again, we're going to have some buckets at the doors. If you'd like to do a little love offering, if you haven't done it already, I'm sure you were blessed. So what's that? They got your checks too. The mustard seed. Okay. All right. Let's have a word of prayer. I think I heard that maybe the AY is going to start right after this. We're going to start early. I heard that. I didn't know if that's going to be absolute. We'll wait and see about that. So let's have a word of prayer. Father in heaven, we know that the doctors and all of the people have all kinds of answers for us. But you've had answers for us for many, many years, many decades. So handed down remedies that work extremely well. Lord, we ask for your continued help for us, that we will look for alternatives to going to the doctor all the time. We ask for your blessing upon Walter and his wife as they have traveled up here and blessed us. May you help them as they travel back tonight. We ask for your help for also the people of his area down there in Newport and all that surrounding area that are in those storm areas. We ask for you to help them in any way that's possible down there. We know you have control that we don't have. We ask for this blessing through your Son Jesus. In his name we pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you all for coming. Stay by.